Hello, Joseph here. Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a good Merry Christmas and a very good New Year, and looking forward to 2024. It's a nice day here in South Texas, January 5th, I believe is today. And I thought I'd start off the year with a new video. And I thought I'm going to change it up a little bit, maybe for the next couple of videos. Not sure. Everything's subject to change. But I thought instead of focusing on a bunch of albums, like 4 or 5 at a time, I'm going to choose maybe one or maybe two and dig a little deeper into those particular albums. And with that, I'm going to talk about the album today, and it's by a band called Asleep at the Wheel. Many of you maybe have not heard of the band, but they're a legendary Western swing, if you want to describe them best, Western swing style band. And they're based out of Austin, Texas. And they've been around for 50 years, and they're still going today. I think they're going to start slowing down a little bit, but a little history about Sleep at the Wheel. You would think that they would come from Texas with their Western swing Bob Wills influenced sound, but they're actually from a place called Paw Paw, West Virginia. And they're led by guitar player vocalist Ray Benson, who started them way back there in Paw Paw. I love that name, Paw Paw, West Virginia, way back in 1970. And what Ray wanted to do was make a very Americana based band, focusing on the big influence of Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, also swing music in general, like Count Basie, and rhythm and blues like Louis Jordan. So he started the band in 69, basically, or 70, you might say. And they had some success locally right there in West Virginia. But eventually, they broadened their horizons and they moved out to California. And in California, they met Commander Cody. You might remember Commander Cody. He was popular back in the late 60s and 70s. He himself had somewhat of a Western swing style rock approach. And they also befriended Van Morrison. And Van Morrison mentioned them in an article about bands that he was impressed with. And one of the bands he mentioned was Asleep at the Wheel. So they got some very good exposure via Commander Cody and Van Morrison, and their careers started taking off. They're a heavy touring band. They've been on the road for over 50 years, or at least 50 years. And so they started recording, and they made, I believe, they made one before Capitol Records, and then they made 3 studio albums on Capitol Records. And then finally they came out with this one, and this is called Asleep at the Wheel Serve Live. And this, of course, is their first live album. It was recorded in 1979 at the Austin Opry House in Austin, Texas. And this was my introduction to Asleep at the Wheel. This is the first time I ever had heard him, was through this album, and I was knocked out from the very beginning. And I'll give you a rundown on some of the tracks, or probably most of them. And the album starts off with Choo Choo Boogie. And I believe that is a Louis Jordan song. If it's not Louis Jordan, it has that kind of rhythm and blues effect that Louis had. And right out the gate, the band comes out smoking. Choo Choo Boogie starts with some outstanding boogie woogie type piano, and it's just another highlight here in this album is the saxophone work of Pat Taco Ryan, they called him, and actually 2 other saxophone players. So they get a pretty full sound, and when it's blended with the steel guitar of guitarist Lucky Oceans, it's really a beautiful sound. And also, Ray Benson shines on guitar throughout. Another tune here that I really like is God Bless the Child. And it is sung by a woman who's been in the band off and on through the years. Her name's Chris O'Connell. And I really think that she is one of the underrated vocalists of vocalists, because she really has such a beautiful sound. It's almost like part Tammy Wynette and Billie Holiday, if you can imagine that combination. And she really gives a heartfelt rendition of God Bless the Child on this one, and has beautiful sax work by, I think it's Pat Ryan. Then they go into Jumping at the Woodside Now. And this is really impressive because at times with the sax section and the steel guitar and the sound of the guitars, they almost get a full big band sound. And no, they're not going to give Count Basie any immediate competition, but they swing pretty hard on this, and it's a beautiful sound that they get with the mixture of the instruments. Then they do a song that they don't do anymore, kind of Am I High. I saw the band many times live. Probably I've seen them, probably next to the Dead, probably the next most band I've seen. I probably saw the Wheel probably about 20 times, maybe 30. And they always were very entertaining, very musical. And this was way back then in the 70s, 80s. This was kind of a comical piece, Am I High, where basically it talks about getting high. And Ray Benson during the live act would do juggling. And believe it came off pretty well. And then on side 2, they get into kind of a standard, Get Your Kicks on Route 66. And this has the vocalist trading off, Ray Benson. Also, the other vocalist on this album is, along with Chris O'Connell, is John Nicholas. And John is a fellow Texan here, and he's still active today. And he brought to the band his own mix of rhythm and blues type sound, and sounds excellent on Route 66. They go into the old Brooke Benton song, Baby You Got What It Takes. Another fine vocal from John Nicholas, and it's basically a duet with Chris O'Connell. And one of the guest stars on here is Jimmy Vaughn, and I think he believes he takes a pretty good guitar solo on this one. Then they go into a straight all country song, Miles and Miles of Texas. I think that one's been played in a commercial here in Texas lately. But this is just a straight ahead Texas song. Kind of reminds me of why Texas has always enchanted me and why I'm here in Texas now. But I really like that one. Miles and Miles of Texas has a good break there with steel guitar and guitar. That's one thing about the Wheel, is they always had excellent breaks, where somewhat like Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. And then they end with the old gospel tune, Will the Circle Be Unbroken? And that's always been a favorite of mine. What really is outstanding here is Chris O'Connell. When she comes in, she really is shouting it out with some old gospel inflections, and it's really outstanding. So that's a little look at Sleep at the Wheel. As I say, they're still active today. I've seen them many times through the years. They always bring a smile to my face. And like I say, I believe Ray Benson is kind of winding it down, not completely retiring, but he deserves a wild break from the road, because Asleep at the Wheel has been an outstanding band for over 50 years, and they definitely deserve your attention. Have a great day.